you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real Steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach, and why over 10,000 local steel dealers are putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Just 3 words. Made in America. Real Steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. The majority of steel products sold in America are made in America of U.S. and foreign materials. Batteries and chargers are sourced internationally.
Over the last year and a half, we all learned some hard lessons. One of the most important is that you can't put off the inevitable. Hi, this is Mark Davis at Dayton Memorial Park Cemetery and Mausoleums. No matter how hard it is to think about, we all need a final resting place. When pre-planning with your funeral home, please remember that cemetery arrangements must also be made. Call us today at 937-890-1831 or visit our website at DaytonMemorialPark.com. And remember, Dayton Memorial Park is a beautiful place to celebrate life.
Longer days, warmer weather. This is a time of year you need to be enjoying life without joint pain. Hey, it's Keith Byers. Time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is helping people here and all over America get real, lasting pain relief. They use highly concentrated, cutting-edge, natural biologic treatments that can restore and repair damaged joint tissue, getting to the root of the pain. It's life-changing. You can get back to moving like you used to with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. If you have a nagging pain in your knees, hips, and shoulders, or back, and you're done with steroids and pain meds, call QC Kinetics. And if they're telling you surgery is your next option, don't do it. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation and free second opinion. Learn more about these amazing natural biologic treatments. Enjoy this time of year doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
Well, where are you going to go? Let's start.
All right, everybody, welcome in. It is the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Coming at you here for the final hour of the show as the Cincinnati Reds go down in Game 2. In fact, they get swept by the Guardians. Yes, the Cleveland Guardians come away with a 2-game sweep at Great American Ballpark. And it's been a very eventful couple of days for the Cincinnati Reds, and not for all of the right reasons, of course. In fact, I think the last thing people care about is this series with the Guardians. I think the last thing that people care about is, well, all of the recent struggles of the Reds on the field, because I think what we learned yesterday is that the Reds are officially an utter disaster in the front office. And before we could even hope for better results on the field, I think it all comes down to our anger, our frustration, everything that is built up towards the front office. And that's basically where everyone's frustration stems from right now. Yesterday was the most memorable Reds opening day in franchise history, but not for the right reasons. The Reds split the season opening 4-game road series against the defending World Series champions, the Atlanta Braves, and came back to Great American Ballpark for Reds opening day with Tyler Mahle on the mound, who pitched fantastic in Game 1 against the Braves. There was a lot to feel good about. Great American Ballpark was sold out yesterday. The Findlay Market opening day parade, it filled the streets with shoulder-to-shoulder fans draped in Reds gear. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Zach Taylor from the Cincinnati Bengals were all on the scene for pregame festivities, including the first pitch from Joe Burrow, of course, to Coach Taylor. There was so much to feel good about, so much good to talk about, but the problem was that nobody was talking about any of those things. Nobody was talking about any of those great features above. The ugly cloud that has cast an ugly shadow over the Reds organization released a flooding rain that drowned out the game, drowned out the Findlay Market parade. It even drowned out Joe Burrow and the Bengals' appearance, which is all anybody could talk about in the days building up to Reds opening day at Great American Ballpark. It's unbelievable. Instead, it became about anger and frustration towards Reds ownership, and more specifically, Reds president and COO Phil Castelllini, following his cringeworthy statement to Mo Egger on 700 WLW earlier on in the day.
Well, where are you going to go? Let's start there. I mean, sell the team to who? I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, you want to have this debate. You know, if you want to look at what would you do with this team to have it be more profitable, make more money, compete more in the current economic system that this game exists, it would be to pick it up and move it somewhere else. Yeah. And so be careful what you ask for. You know, I think we're doing the best we can do with the resources that we have.
Be careful what you ask for? Really? A threat? Your customers, okay? Forget, that saying the customer's always right. I know it's not one that I kind of abide by, but in this particular case, it is. And just when you think that it cannot get any worse, Phil Castellini, actually, he doubled down, folks. He doubled down later on yesterday evening before the game. He doubled down on his stance later that afternoon during a TV interview with Brandon Saho from WLW TV Channel 5. Take a listen. Keep in mind, this is after those comments. You would think that there's an opportunity for him to kind of walk back those comments. And I give Brandon Saho with WLW Channel 5 a lot of credit for at least trying to set him up to say, hey, a lot of backlash coming your way. I would like to give you a platform to be able to kind of, maybe clarify some of your statements. Oh, no. Phil Castellini, he doubled down.
Well, the answer is, are you going to abandon being a Reds fan? Are you going to abandon following this team? We haven't abandoned it. We haven't abandoned investing in the team and in the community. So the point is, how about everybody just settle down and celebrate and cheer for the team? You can hate on us all you want. We're not going anywhere. We haven't abandoned our commitment to winning and investing in this franchise and in this community. So the point is, stay tuned and be a fan and celebrate these guys and look what they did in Atlanta and come out here and celebrate that today.
Unbelievable. Just settle down. Just celebrate the team. The arrogance and comedic tone. The arrogance and comedic tone-deaf comments from Castellini fall on a fan base, folks, that has already once, twice, maybe even 3 times settled down and celebrated below par results. This is a fan base that has experienced the Big Red Machine. They've experienced Joe Morgan. They've experienced Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, Barry Larkin, all while experiencing playoff memories, all while experiencing World Series titles. Stop telling your fans to settle down, relax, and celebrate mediocrity whenever we're the ones that hold this franchise to a much higher standard than the own damn team ownership. My father, grandfather, the older generations of our listeners got to experience the peak of greatness when it comes to this organization and franchise. I, along with many other millennials and younger fans, well, I guess there was that cool triple bobblehead promotion that we got to experience that one time. Oh, remember that? I'm sure there was some kind of beer promotion that we got to experience, right? Oh, don't forget that one time. Remember Amir Garrett and Yasiel Puig? They fought the entire Pirates dugout. Yeah, that's our memories. But yeah, we'll sit back and we'll relax and we'll celebrate. We'll calm down. Enough is enough. Stop with the threats. Stop with the pleading for patience and stop with the lame apologies. Stop with it all. I mean, it really does get old. You can't tell us to just relax and enjoy it. You want to know enough is enough. Stop with the lame apologies. You want to make it up to us Reds fans, spend money. Bring in great talent. Show that you have the same desire and urgency to win as the fans do. I can't believe that that's something that fans have to plead ownership with. Hey, please do something to win. Please do something to win. That is insane to me. This is exactly why that lockout happened. The ugliness, everything that came out of that. I kept telling people, stop. These people don't care about you. Why do you care about them? Now, this is ownership. We're not talking about athletes. Athletes, I'm not trying to bash the athletes here. That's not what this platform is for. But stop over-romanticizing your sports owners and athletes because this is what it comes down to. It's a business. Be careful what you ask for. You're going to sell the team and not just sell the team. You'll sell the team out of market. Are you kidding me? Oh, but it gets better. It gets better. This was the statement that was released by Phil Castellini and the Cincinnati Reds yesterday. For those watching live on Facebook, for those watching live on YouTube, check it out. I know the print's a little small, but look at all that white space. This is what I love. When we get a press release from the Reds, they send it to us on this Reds letterhead. And usually, I've never seen a press release this short before. This is 2 statements. The shortest, most legendary press release that was ever released was Michael Jordan saying, "I'm back." This might be the second most legendary press release, and it's not even for the same reasons. I think this is actually the problem. Phil Castellini's not saying he's back. He's basically just saying, I'm not going anywhere, as you just heard. But this is a statement from Phil Castellini. He says, I apologize to Reds fans, and I regret the comments that I made earlier today. We love this city, we love this team, and we love our fans. I understand. I'm sorry, I got to keep from laughing here. He actually says this. I understand how our fans feel, and I'm sorry. That's the statement that they released to us Reds fans. And at the top, it says statement from Phil Castellini. Well, here's the problem. That's the statement that they released to us, the Reds fans. That's what they wanted us to see. But you want to know what statement we actually saw? This is the actual statement from Phil Castellini. Right there. Right there. It's as simple as that. Go Reds. We'll be right back.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find. ZipRecruiter.com/find.
When you need to hire, you need Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Into the money. The money. It is officially the off season, and just like our favorite sports teams, we here at WING are focused on taking care of our biggest free agent targets. You be listening for the winning word 12 times a day, starting at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, for your chance to win $1,000. It's the WING Free Agent Funds Cash Contest, presented by iWorks Laser and Vision Center. See Dr. Patrick Spencer and upgrade your vision at iWorks Laser and Vision Center, because at iWorks, it's all about seeing your best.
All right, and we are back. I'm Justin Kinner alongside Kev Nash, who was kind enough to give me the mic solo to start. He knew I was pretty fired up coming in today, but of course, he's a jerk who's a Guardians fan, so of course, he's smiling from ear to ear. Kev,
let's go.
Happy Wednesday.
It is.
Is it, though?
It is an awesome Wednesday if you're from Cleveland, Ohio. Guess where I'm from?
Who'd you guys open up with, by the way?
Royals. Split with the Royals.
So you guys have yet to start the season.
Well, you know,
Royals and the Reds. So you got your spring training schedule out of the way. So no,
you know the crazy thing about the Guardians. So the first 2 games with Kansas City, they scored 2 runs. Now the next couple games, the next 4 games, 17, 10, 10, and 7. Like.
That's Cleveland Brown stuff right there.
Obviously, I'm not expecting them to be scoring 10 runs a game and everything like that, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to start out so bad in the first 2 games, and I'm texting my buddies up there in Cleveland like, oh, man, it's definitely about to be a long year. And then they scored at 17 on Kansas City. What is that? On, I guess, was Saturday, and then they scored 10 on Sunday, and then they come back and score another 10 versus the Reds, and then 7 today. It's just cool to see your team that wasn't expected to do much this season, and other guys step up for the team outside of Jose. So, it's early, obviously, but it feels good. And I actually got to see the game yesterday because it was on Fox, because it was opening day with the Reds and everything like that, because you and I both have YouTube TV. Bally Sports is not available. So, it's a very rare occasion that I get to watch my favorite baseball team legally.
Right. But 518-1410 opened up the show with a little rant, a little frustrated with the Reds, of course. And this isn't just your typical team frustration. I think that it is very delusional of any fan base to think that your team is going to be competitive on a year in, year out basis. In fact, I believe that, as negative of a person as I am, I was very patient throughout that 2017 through 2019 rebuild. I was very patient because I understood that that's the reality of it. There's going to be losing. There's going to be the ups and downs. I know that the Reds don't have, I don't believe, the Reds fans aren't dumb. And I feel like Phil Castellini and the Reds ownership, they found a crutch that they like to kind of use. They could spend more. They could do more. They choose not to, because what they have found is that in today's climate, as he likes to allude to, they found a crutch of within the means of which they are willing to spend. They are not willing to do any more than that. So they're going to stick within the lanes of what they're comfortable doing, and they're not going to go outside of that. And they're going to continuously align their money to their resources, as we've heard them state on numerous occasions. And okay, that's fine. But I was patient, as all Reds fans were, from 2017 to 2019. Then they started spending money. That's when they started doing the deals to bring in Trevor Bauer and Sonny Gray and the Nick Castellanos and the Mike Moustakas of the world. They made some moves. They developed Jesse Winker, obviously Castillo. They developed him, and he's been great, obviously injured right now. The Reds were trending in the right direction. Not even a year ago, I was actually complimenting the Reds. I was the one telling everybody a year ago, let's relax, let's calm down. This is the same team that spent over $150 million combined on all of the free agents that they were able to go out and get when they added Moustakas and Castellanos. And, they were adding weapons. They were showing that, hey, we're going all in here. I could get down with that. They had Castellanos, they had Sonny Gray, they had Castillo, they had Sonny Gray, they had Tyler Mahle, they had weapons within that rotation as well. They went out and obviously got Wade Miley. They got some good pieces in the bullpen. The bullpen didn't perform well, though. The rotation never seemed to stay healthy and work out the way it was supposed to. It's what happens when you only use your rotation for 4 innings of a 9-inning game instead of the 6 to 7 that you're supposed to, but that's not the time for this, or this isn't the time for that. The bottom line is we were patient. We dealt with the rebuild the first time. You can't continuously screw this up and tell your fan base, just calm down. Just relax, celebrate this team. Shaw, who I never agree with on anything that he says, Kev, actually said, so when Castellini said, let's celebrate what the Reds just did in Atlanta. What did the Reds actually do in Atlanta, Kev?
Split.
Shaw said, what did they do in Atlanta? Split. That's what the fans have to look forward to. Shaw, I actually agree with you. That's the bar. If Phil Castellini thinks that we as Reds fans are so stupid that we're just going to cheer for, we split with Atlanta. Now, in my opening rant,
split with the champs.
Now, in my opening rant, I said to a certain extent, I felt good about the fact that they did split with the Braves. If you can come out with at least a split against the defending World Series champions on the road in the first series of the season, and a shortened spring training, of course, with limited weapons because of injuries and, lack of trying from the front office, I'd say that's pretty good. Nothing to throw a parade about, nothing to do cartwheels. I mean, look, there's nothing to be excited about, but you could feel good about it. But for him to actually use that as a reason as to, what are you mad at me for? Sure, we traded Jesse Winker. Sure, we didn't even try to keep Nick Castellanos. Sure, we traded Sonny Gray. We didn't even try to keep Trevor Bauer a few years ago. We have made zero effort to better this roster, but hey, we at least split with the Atlanta Braves. That's the insult right there. And then the threat to be careful what you ask for.
Ooh, that's bad.
I mean,
well, where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go? I don't know. How about the organization in Cincinnati that I've been mocking for well over 2 years now? I've said that the Bengals are the biggest joke in sports. I said that Mike Brown's the biggest joke in sports. I laughed at the idea of the Bengals being good. They just went to the Super Bowl. You have, it fascinates me. The Cincinnati Bengals are now the face of that city. And they're not in any hurry to give that up. And they're in no position. The Reds are in no position to think that they're anywhere close to grasping that back. That's why I talked about in my opening rant. We live so heavily in the past of Reds greatness that we are 30 years removed from a World Series, 30 plus years removed from a World Series. Like, I'm 32 years old. Technically, I was 1 year old when they won the last World Series. That doesn't count, okay? But, like, the World Series counts, but not for me. So I get so jealous when I hear older listeners call in to share memories of the Reds, Kev. Mm-hmm. They talk about Pete Rose. They talk about the Barry Larkins, and they talk about those greats from the past. I know Larkin was removed from that, but you see what I'm saying. Like, and they talk about the Johnny Benches and the Joe Morgans of the world, and they talk about those guys. They say it with pride.
Right.
Like, they love showing off that, man, I grew up getting to watch the Big Red Machine. And they say it with pride, and they say it with their chest, and they say it like they're proud of it. What do we get to say that we're proud of? Remember that triple bobblehead we got to leave the ballpark with that one time? Oh, yeah, I remember they did the fireworks show for Prince that one time. That was pretty cool. I guess there was that fight that was interesting. Remember that Brandon Phillips fight? Yeah, that's right. Yasiel Puig and obviously, and Amir Garrett attacking the whole Pirates dugout. I mean, that's actually that's the most fight I've seen this organization show in decades. It's just frustrating. And like, Kev, this is the problem. That's why that statement was so poor. They don't mean it. I feel what the fans feel. No, you don't. You don't. He is mocking us. Phil Castelllini is mocking us. We've had him on the show before at Reds Fest. And I know that by going at him so hard now that there's going to be some point that I have to sit right across from him at Reds Fest again.
That's going to be fun.
But the thing is, like, and I talked to Mo Egger about this the other day, that yes, there is a fine line of like our jobs, and Mo Egger's job is a lot different than mine. He works for the flagship station. We just work for an affiliate in Dayton, Ohio. But they take their radio network very seriously. And They tell us all the time that Dayton is the most important city in their radio network out there because we are a branch of who they are. I mean, we're just less than an hour down the road. We are a very important market for them, especially with the Dragons being here in town as well. Like, everything we say is a reflection of them to a certain extent. And I'm waiting every day to get that call of, Kenner, I can't believe you said that. And it's happened once or twice. Mo said it's happened to him on a few occasions. There's only a couple rules that we have that we can't break. I've maybe come close to breaking a few of them today, and that's fine. But the bottom line is, you get to insult us, but we can't insult you. You get to insult us, but we can't insult you. And I don't look at it as us insulting you. If us evaluating your crap job performance is us insulting you, then you've insulted yourself because you have given us nothing to cheer about. There's only so many bobblehead promotions and sushi bars that you could put at Great American Ballpark to kind of distract us before we finally start saying, hey, aren't we supposed to be watching baseball in October?
For me, it's the slap in the face. It's the line about be careful what you ask for. Like, that's a threat. That's a threat to take a team that's been in Cincinnati for like 100 plus years. Like, that's a threat to the fan base, and not just people that live in Cincinnati. It's people that live in Dayton. It's people that live in West Virginia, Tennessee that are Reds fans. You're making those type of threats on opening day. On opening day is something that's supposed to be celebrated all across baseball. And we were talking about this off air. They're lucky they've been so bad so long, because if they were winning like they used to win, or if they were the New York Yankees or the Dodgers, the ownership would have said something like that. It would have been everywhere. It would have been on USA Today. It would have been on Good Morning America. It would have been the first thing out of everybody's mouth right now. But since they've been losing and everything like that, it's not really top of mind for everybody. It was a slug on the ticker on ESPN. It's just a topic that they went through real fast on SportsCenter. But if they were winning like the Reds were supposed to be winning, Stephen A will be talking about it. Everybody and their mom will be talking about it. And I think that right there itself is a slap in the face, that an owner can say something like that and it's not front page news. It's not the lead topic on every sports channel. That's a slap into the face of the fan base, because not only is the ownership telling you don't matter, but everybody else is telling you don't matter either, because this dude can get away with saying that. That's not cool, man. That's not cool at all. Now, I've been a person that I kind of defend a lot of the things that baseball ownership does, because like I get it, there's market size and it's not like how basketball and football are with salary caps and everything like that. Other places have way more population, so they have a bigger TV market, so they got more money to play with and everything like that. So I am lenient to the Reds, the Guardians, the Pirates. The Detroit Tigers. I can understand. I can get it. I can understand. But what you can't say is that you can't threaten the fan base by saying, where are you going to go? Who are you going to root for? Be careful what you ask for. Nah, bruh. That's not going to fly, man. And you think it was bad for you now with billboards and people tweeting you and questioning why you still owning the team and everything like that? Let this team have another bad season. They're not going to be pointing at the managers. They're not going to be pointing at the players. The finger's going to be pointed right back at you, the owner, because it's past them. It's past the players. The fans are always going to root for whoever's wearing the jersey. But now when you say stuff like that, all the heat's off the players. All the heat's off the manager. You haven't even mentioned the manager. And they've been playing, what is the 6th game of the season? You haven't mentioned him one time. I couldn't remember a show last year where we couldn't get out of the first segment without you talking about the manager. We haven't talked about him yet. You know why? Because of this statement right here. The heat's off of them. It's all on him. This is all on him, man. That's bad. That's horrible.
Yeah, and a buddy texted me earlier, said, man, and to make it all worse, now look, the Reds just got swept by the Guardians. And I'm like, they did, didn't they?
They sure did.
I feel bad for the players, except for Joey Votto. I don't feel bad for Joey Votto. He's enabled this his entire time in Cincinnati. And let me say this. If there was ever a time for a player to speak out, and I'm one of those that I'm not a big fan of athletes holding their franchises hostage. I'm not a big fan of athletes trying to think that they're bigger than the organization they play for, because at the end of the day, athletes come and go. Those organizations are there. I shouldn't say forever, because, as one great son of an owner used to say,
well, where are you going to go?
Exactly. Where are you going to go? I mean, the bottom line is this. Joey Votto, I don't care if you're an introvert. You don't seem very introverted on TikTok. Pretend this is TikTok. Call out your organization. Say that that's unacceptable. I can't wait for what BS PR excuse that the players start giving out, because media is going to ask. And kudos to Cincinnati media. I've been very critical of Cincinnati media over the years. I felt that they have always been more obsessed with trying to be friends with the owners. I've always talked about how much of a kick-ass reporter he was, because his job was to be a professional reporter and go out and get the scoop and report on what's good and report on what's bad. And if it ruffled feathers, then so be it. I mean, he was such great friends with Pete Rose. He almost ruined his relationship, and did for a while, with Pete Rose, based on having to report on the betting scandal during the peak of the Pete Rose scandal. Mm-hmm. He had a huge falling out with Pete Rose. That was his dude. And, they're okay now from the last I've heard, the last I was updated from Hal about it, but that's who Hal was. Hal put his job first before relationships. Team owners and players want you to put their relationships first before the job. And that's always been my big criticism of Cincinnati media, but that wasn't yesterday. I give all the media a ton of credit yesterday, because who's feeling the heat? Phil and Bob Castellini. At least I think Bob. Did you see the Bob Castellini interview on the pregame?
I did not.
His one job was to go on there and say, go Cincinnati Reds. He had to read it off a piece of paper. I felt like I was watching Joe Biden. I felt like I was watching him give some kind of speech. I was like, why are you reading off I thought he was going to end the speech with end speech. I thought that's where this was heading.
30.
Remember you said earlier, what's that line I'm going to cross? I think I probably did it there, but that's okay. That's okay. Going down this list, 518-1410, 518-1410. I'm tired of hearing my voice. Let's hear somebody else's, that's for sure. Justin Smith says, Votto robbed the Reds. I can't believe he's still there. Nobody wants to take over that garbage contract. Justin, I disagree. Joey Votto's a great player, and he's been able to kind of turn it back. Last year he flipped the switch, and he's been able to put the bat on the ball again and put the ball in play. Joey Votto lived up to his contract and then some. Joey Votto will just not be able to be viewed by me in the same light as Pete Rose and the others, because although Joey Votto is statistically one of the all-time greats for Cincinnati, it's not supported by any success on the field as a team. When you think about the Joe Morgans and the Pete Rose and the Johnny Benches and the Barry Larkins and all them, they were great all while the team was great. That's what made them, legendary figures within the history of Cincinnati. I don't know if Joey Votto could be that. I can't look at Joey Votto as historic figure, but at the end of the day, the Reds paid him, and he lived up to that contract. He's an MVP. He's going to go down statistically as one of the best Reds of all time. Folks, when I'm bashing Joey Votto, people are like, how could you look at his numbers and say that he's bad? I'm not bashing Joey Votto, the player. I'm bashing Joey Votto, the leader. Phil Castelllini comes out with that statement yesterday. Why isn't Joey Votto coming out to diffuse that? Why isn't he trying to get the fans to kind of bound together and say, you know what? This is about us, the players. Continue supporting us. We want to go out there and play for you, the fans. We love you, the fan. Like, let it be known that they're with you. Joey Votto's just trying to figure out what TikTok video to do next. That's frustrating to me. I can't get down with that. That has nothing to do with the contract. Justin, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, contracts are part of baseball. Contracts are part of sports. And if the Reds, and to be fair, Justin, if the Reds would not have given him that contract, we would have bashed the organization for not paying Joey Votto and him going elsewhere. So it's like that. I'll defend the Reds to a certain extent, because at the same time, it's like, oh, if Joey Votto would have left Cincinnati, we would have bashed them and said, well, like the Jesse Winker. Mm-hmm. Jesse Winker had a breakout all-star MVP caliber season last year. We traded him, and look at what we did. We bashed the organization. So Joey Votto has an MVP season. He gets that huge $225 million 10-year extension, and then people are mad at the organization. They can't win from that regards. But as far as I'm concerned, he was worth every dime. But I thought that it was pretty stupid to pay Joey Votto that amount of money just to not effort to try to win with him. It's almost like, hey, let's pay our megastar. We'll brand our team around him for the next 10 years, not build our team around him for the next 10 years. We're going to brand our team around him for the next 10 years. There you go. Brad Mays, Home Experts Realty, sponsor the show. He says the comments show that the Castellinis don't think that there is money in this market. That must be the reason they don't spend money on the team. It's an investment to them. Like, this isn't the same. When he says, we haven't given up on this team, we continue to invest in this team, you shouldn't give up on this team. You need to continue. Our investing into this team is a lot different than them investing into this team, because here's the difference. We're investing. We all make bum money compared to these guys. Okay. When we invest our money and our time, we're investing a whole hell of a lot more of ourselves than they are to pay a first baseman. When they invest into the Reds, it's a business. When we invest into the Reds, it's passion. And you're killing that passion. And it sucks because I keep hearing people say, the Kinner, stop going to the Reds games. I can't.
I can't quit you.
I love the ballpark experience. But it sucks because it is going to take us being that way of giving up something we're passionate about. But they're killing that passion. It's going to take a little more to kill all of my passion. But we're seeing it. There was 10,000 fans at the ballpark today. 10. Now you could say, well, it was rainy.
Yeah, there you go.
It was a noon first pitch, all that stuff. Last year for noon first pitches, they averaged 20,000 fans. It's the first noon game of the season of this season. 10,000 fans. Don't do that. Like it stinks. You're seeing it dissipate, and then what's going to happen when they do sell the team. That was, I didn't think about too, and this might be what some of the listeners are saying, Kev. They're pointing the finger at us. That was exactly what he was doing, saying, hey, you need to support. I don't care if I'm not doing my job. You need to continue supporting this team because or else. So then when fans stop going to games, not because we suck as fans, but because they suck as owners, then we'll be blamed for why no one goes to the games or why they get sold out of the city. That's the problem.
So I'll take it back to, obviously everybody knows I'm from Cleveland. I'm not a Browns fan, but I do remember this. I remember the whole back and forth between Art Modell and the city wanting a new stadium. And that is ultimately the main reason why the then Browns left to go to Baltimore to become the Ravens and the new Browns, yada, yada, yada. But the back and forth was about a stadium and a tax increase for the city. And then the citizens basically paying for the new stadium. It was basically that. So when you start breaking these things down and you start looking at it from a different perspective of just like, all right, man, we as people and taxpayers, especially in Cincinnati, they pay for the stadium with their tax dollars. Then they pay to park. Then they pay to go to the game. Then they pay for the hot dog. Then they pay for the beer. Then they pay for the bobblehead. Then they pay for the jersey for the kid.
Parking?
Yeah, parking and all this type of stuff. And a lot of that revenue, it goes to the city, but a lot of that revenue also goes back into the team and everything like that. So that's where a lot of fans like get frustrated with the situation. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Especially season ticket holders. Like, yo, if you're a season ticket holder, that means you're coughing up bread left and right. You're coughing up seat license. You're coughing up games. You coughing up a lot of money, and then you give a bad product on the field. That's one thing. But then to be told or else, or else what? Say it. Say or else what? What you tell me what you're gonna do if we stop supporting, we stop coming down there. What are you gonna do? Tell us, because I would like to know. Because that's not right. You can't do people like that. You can't do fans that spend their hard-earned dollar, that work at wherever their job is, who get off work, run all the way home, get their kid, and drive all the way down there, battle traffic, sit there on a Tuesday night at a 7:00 game. The kid wants to stay all the way to the 7th stretch. Then it's a good game. And oh my goodness, we're going to the bottom of the ninth. Oh, we win. If we get fireworks, and then they get up out of there at 11:30 at night, then drive all the way home, and then got to get back up for work in the morning. You can't talk to people like that. You cannot do that. That is not right. Plain and simple. Like I support a lot of these owners, and especially in baseball, for the way the game is structured and how it's structured. And a lot of these teams don't have it in their favor. One thing you can't do is talk to the fans like that. I know you get your money up front from the TV and everything like that, but like you always say, Kenner, you're nothing without the fans. And when you do the fans like that, that is just foul, man. Like, we see this stuff happen in the NBA. Like, we getting a lot of chirping from the players to the fans and everything like that. But like, that's interaction. That's interaction. That's a back and forth. This is not a back and forth because he had the microphone. He didn't get an opportunity for a fan to ask a question. He just went at him. It wasn't even, it was sad, but it wasn't like a situation where he's backed up against the wall and coming out swinging. He came out swinging, and it was just a simple question. It wasn't even a violent question. It wasn't even something that to get him all revved up. This seems like, to me, this is something like he's been harboring all off season long and been waiting for an opportunity to say these words. That's wrong.
Yeah, and the thing that was crazy about all of that was the fact that, like, if you even go back to, so I think it was like last week, at the Finley, at the whatever the market parade is, I don't care, whatever the opening day parade is, the sponsor that, he had that little press conference there, and they had said, hey, you've noticed like there's a lot of opening day. Now the opening day was sold out. Super.
Right.
But at that time, opening day tickets there were still a lot available. In fact, usually we get like a special offer at the station to buy them before they are made available to the public if we want them. But we were getting a lot of emails. We got plenty of tickets. We got plenty of tickets. We got plenty of tickets. That's never happened in my time here. Mm-hmm. Now, Phil Castelllini came out and said, oh, stop. You guys are making something out of nothing. This isn't a big deal. This is because there was a delay to the season. That's what this is. Now, I do agree with him to a certain point that led to a lack of urgency to get the tickets because it doesn't feel like real opening day. And ultimately, it ended up being a sellout, of course, but like, it's just that constant, like, he doesn't believe, he thinks we're stupid and will continue to put up with it over and over. Mm-hmm. He didn't think that, the abuse of the off season would lead to fans not coming. Oh, stop. It's just the delay to the season. That's the only reason fans aren't coming to games. Oh, stop. We got rid of we got rid of Nick Castellanos. We got rid of Jesse Winker. We got rid of Eugenio Suarez. We got rid of Sonny Gray. Oh, stop. Oh, stop. Continue to support this team. We just went 500 in a 4-game series against the. Come on now. What else do you want? A World Series? Puh, that's for chumps. I mean, it's frustrating. So then he gets, Mo Egger sets up the question, what do you say to fans who say that they're losing faith in the team? And then he has this very arrogant response of, where are you going to?
Well, where are you going to go?
Like, in that voice, that's not I shouldn't have said it that way. He meant that. Mm-hmm. And then he said it later. He dug his heels in the dirt even more on the TV interview. It's frustrating. Last thing here, we're going to get to the phone calls in a minute. 518-1410. Scott Campbell says Suarez hit a home run with the Mariners today, by the way. So there's that. Justin Nichols said the first grade is the last time that he saw them win. So McLean, what up, McLean? McLean says Joey Votto is definitely a great player, was well worth the contract, but that was a bad deal to make by a small market team. With our resources, we could have gotten 3 good players and closer to being sustainably competitive. You don't win championships, division or otherwise, with $225 million first baseman. Look, I get that. And McLean, the thing that's crazy about that is if you go back to that 2012 season, that year, they were actually, that money was supposed to be for Albert Pujols. His contract with the Cardinals was coming up. The Reds, because, and I can't believe I'm drawing a blank because I'm looking right at his face, the general manager that came over from the Cardinals to the Reds, and I'm drawing Walt Jocketty. So Walt Jocketty comes to the Reds, and one of the first moves that they were efforting to make or positioning themselves to make was to give that 212, and I think it would have been more. I think it was going to be about 215 or 220 or something in that. They were going to give 215 or 212 million to Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols ends up taking a $230 million deal with the Angels for that 10 or 12 year window. And then the Reds went ahead and did the money, a little bit less money for Joey Votto. That's what was crazy. That money was going to be spent on either Votto, Pujols, or whoever. The Castellinis wanted that mega star to build the team around, to promote the team around. There's a difference. They weren't trying to build around Joey Votto. They were trying to promote around Joey Votto, because as long as we're going to have down years, at least we have that one guy that we could put his face on our season tickets, put on our memorabilia items, put on our promotional items, our calendars, our bobbleheads, our cups, our koozies, or whatever, and say, shut up, Kev, and say, come down to the ballpark. And so McLean, I see what you're saying, but what you can't do is take that $220 million, disperse it between 3 above average guys. Those aren't marketable guys. You have to have that one marketable guy to be able to build around, and that's what Votto or Albert Pujols was going to be, even if they don't end up being as great as what they were anticipated to be. Votto lived up to that contract. I see what you're saying. The killer was that Homer Bailey contract, which that contract was either going to go to Homer Bailey or Johnny Cueto. People still rip the Reds for giving that to Homer Bailey and not Johnny Cueto. I actually applauded the Reds for giving it to Homer Bailey over Cueto, because at that time, Cueto couldn't stay healthy. Cueto looked like the better pitcher, but he cannot stay healthy. You also had Homer Bailey, who was coming off back-to-back seasons with no hitters, and he was an ascending star, and he was coming up through the ranks, and he was this next big thing. And the Reds had a decision to make. We just took care of Joey Votto. Now we got to decide if we're going to take care of Homer Bailey or Johnny Cueto. We really want to take care of Johnny Cueto because he also came up through the ranks, but he can't stay healthy. We got to go with the guy that's proven to be healthy, who's coming off back-to-back no hitters. Sure, that's a gamble. But I think it was a gamble that I was more better off with for a guy coming off back-to-back no-hitters than a guy that couldn't stay off the injured list. But then, in typical Reds bad luck fashion, Homer Bailey plummets. Johnny Cueto all of a sudden stayed freaking healthy forever. Nearly would have won a Cy Young that year if the Reds would have provided more run support. I mean, it was so crazy to me during that season because they provided Johnny Cueto with, I think the run support, they averaged about like 1.9 runs per game with Johnny Cueto on the mound. And then for every other pitcher in the rotation that year, they averaged about 3.2. And that was fascinating to me because, and 3.2 is not a ton of runs, by the way. It was like 3.2 or 3.8 in that range. And I was like, what that says to me is that for the other bad pitchers, the Reds hitters were more locked in at the plate because they knew they had to put runs up on the board to support the pitcher. And I feel like hitters took their foot off the gas when Johnny Cueto was on the mound because, hey, you know what? This guy, if we don't have our best day at the plate, that's fine. Our pitcher's going to bail us out or whatever. But nonetheless, it is what it is. But it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. 518-1410. Phone lines are officially open. 518-1410. I think I've got all my venom out. I think I finally released my anger, and now it's time for you to release your anger. 518-1410. 518-1410. We'll be back in a moment.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
At Tub of Towels, we started with the toughest messes and quickly realized Tub of Towels heavy-duty cleaning wipes can clean just about anything, like stubborn brake dust, spilled paint, even permanent marker. There's literally thousands of uses. Proudly made in the USA with over 35,000 five-star reviews. Find Tub of Towels heavy-duty cleaning wipes at your local auto parts store, the Home Depot, Lowe's, and more. Look for the big yellow tub.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Germain Honda Beaver Creek is your local Honda dealer. For a limited time, get 0.9% financing on the 22 Honda Pilot, Honda Passport, and Honda HRV, and as low as 1.9% financing on all other 22 Hondas while supplies last. We can get the Honda you're looking for. We are taking deposits on current scheduled in-build 22 Hondas every day. See me, sales manager Jason High, for all the details. We're located Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, right way. I hope to see you soon.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Let's add a little red right there. Hey, we'll be right with you.
For Bianca's flower shop, spring orders and Mother's Day are a tricky arrangement.
Hey, can I get help repotting this fiddle leaf?
She needs to put the pedal to the metal and find more florists.
We're running low on daisies. How does that even happen?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Want to find out what handheld perfection tastes like? Just stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken today for a flawless family feast with the 12-piece strips meal at a great price. Get 12 premium tenderloins that are freshly marinated, honey-dipped, hand-breaded, and cooked to crispy perfection, along with 3 large sides, 6 fluffy biscuits, and 4 of your favorite Lee sauces. This is dippable chicken done right. Get the best in boneless chicken with the 12-piece strips meal at a great price. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Gentlemen, you can easily find the best brands and fits for you without even trying. Just follow these simple instructions. Step 1, shop somewhere that does all the work for you by customizing a selection for your taste and body. Step 2, level up your closet with the best brands and fits with little or no effort. Not trying has never looked so good. Stitch Fix, we're so you.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Staples stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Welcome back to the quickest podcast ever, brought to you by Kohl's.
Today's topic, Easter style.
I love when everyone's dressed in their Easter best.
Then you need to check out the deals at Kohl's. I got 25% off the perfect floral dress, a new shirt for my husband for only $34.99, and got 25% off outfits the kids are going to look adorable in.
Cue the family photo op.
Exactly. Did I mention you can also get an extra 30, 20, or 15% off with your Kohl's card and earn Kohl's cash?
Looks like some bunny hunted down the savings.
Select styles, 30, 20, or 15% off ends April 16th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading Ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker upper.
Rob tried to manage his constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating day after day. After realizing it was irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, he found another way and finally said yes to adding Linzess.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceutical.
Attention, paying top dollar buying all junk cars. Junk Cars R Us, 937-542-1686. Serving Dayton, Middletown, Columbus, Springfield, Urbana, Richmond, and Sydney. Attention, paying top dollar buying all junk cars. Junk Cars R Us, 937-542-1686. Attention, junk cars are us, 937-542-1686.
Dan Abrams and Ashley Banfield are now back-to-back on News Nation. Get the news without the bias. Weeknights starting at 9/8 Central on America's fastest-growing cable news network, News Nation.
Well, where are you going to go?
And we are back. I'm Justin Kinner alongside Kev Nash. We only have a few more minutes. We'll try to get to as many of your calls as we can here. Tomorrow, we're back to normal, full 3-hour show. Spring training right into this red season. So spring training, we had a lot of games that kind of interrupted the show throughout the day, of course. And of course, with the Reds yesterday having that 4 o'clock first pitch or 4:10 first pitch. And then today the game bleeding in with the delay, of course, with the weather. We just haven't had a very regular show schedule. But I believe starting tomorrow, we're back to normal, whatever normal is for the show. But we'll be back on track as far as that goes. So a lot of calls we haven't been able to take because Kinner doesn't know when to shut up. But there's 3 hours for me to figure out how to shut up tomorrow to get more of your calls in. So my apologies. I'm excited to kind of get a couple Reds riders on, the Hall of Famer, Marty B, some other guys. I'm curious their thoughts. And like, as a player, how do you deal with that? As a player, how do you play for this ownership? My concern is over the last year, I've mocked Bengals fans saying, I think your team, sent the Bengals could be shipped out. When I say that this could be a Bengals city, it is going to be a Bengals only city here. If this keeps up, I don't think this is a bluff. I don't think he's bluffing. I think he's showing a few of his cards. Like, that's fine. I can go make more money. The problem is, like, I know the dude, like I heard Colin Cowherd says this all the time. Take time to look in the mirror. And with that pretty boy hair of his, he looks in the mirror a lot. Look in the mirror and figure out, like, what do you see? Because what Reds fans see is a guy that they're never going to trust again. And, like, I don't even know if winning can repair it. Winning hides a lot of things.
Oh, no. Winning and winning big, forgiven in a heartbeat.
Maybe. Cavs fan, it's not like Dan Gilbert. You know, LeBron and those dudes, when LeBron came back, he came back in spite of Dan Gilbert.
True.
The Phoenix Suns, they have one of the worst owners in all of pro sports. They're winning in spite of him. Mike Brown's not a good owner. Everyone's saying, well, it's Katie Blackburn. Well, Mike Brown had to kind of relinquish some kind of power to her, right? Like, I'm not saying to give Mike Brown credit, but it's not like Katie went in there and just took all his power from him. Like, he had to relinquish some kind of power, right? Like, I'm not
fine.
So, but like bad ownership, teams have won despite bad ownership all the time. But the problem is you can't sustain it. That's why I'm really curious to see if the Bengals can sustain it. And I think that the Katie Blackburn thing has helped. I don't think there's enough good ownership or good front office guys, with the Reds to overcome it. But let's get to Jerry. Where's he at?
Two.
Jerry, how are you, sir? We only have about 2
Hey,
minutes.
guys. Phil Castelllini is the very definition of a guy who was born on third base and thought he hit a triple. He's ridiculous. I will give him credit for one thing. He came out and said what we've all known to be the case. So I say we all boycott him. As far as him moving the team, I got news for him. There's no way Major League Baseball is going to let him move this team with the comments he just made.
You sound like a Browns
fan.
fan.
This is not the Montreal Expos, right?
You sound like Browns fans back in the day. There's no way that they'll let the NFL will let them move the Cleveland Browns. But, I mean, Cleveland, before all the losing ick that has stuck to the reputation of them now, Cleveland had a great reputation before that. And Browns fans said the same thing. So I don't know.
And they got a team right back, right?
Well,
they got
5
a team
years
right
later.
Back. So,
and look how well they've been.
Tampa, hey, if you're in Tampa and they move this team out, you don't want to move to Cincinnati? I mean, come on now. There's plenty of owners who'd rather be in Cincinnati. Pittsburgh, you want to be in Pittsburgh? You want to be in Cincinnati? I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm with you. I don't want to be that guy that's delusional and thinks that there's no way that this team could be taken from Cincinnati. I think the only reason he said that is because he knows it's a legitimate possibility, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's entertained calls already on it. That's all.
They paid $270 million for this team. Sell it for $1 billion and get out if that's the way they feel. But I do have a quick comment for Kev Nash. Hey, Kev Nash, you sure it's been good to be a Cleveland sports fan? You didn't see that Brooklyn Nets game last night?
Yeah, they play on Friday for a chance to still make the playoffs.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, you all about being a Cleveland sports fan, but man, Kyrie Irving torched your guys last night.
Hey, first of all, no Colin Sexton, no Jared Allen, and the fact that it was a couple possession game in the fourth quarter. Sorry, Kevin, it's your
fault. Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, they were down 20 early. They were down 20 early, and they came back. And I mean, this is the normal pecking order for a young team. You get your lumps, and then you start to make those strides later on. I mean, it'd be nice if Isaac Okoro could make a layup. That would be nice. That'd be nice.
I hear you. No, I'm just saying, it was all raw Cleveland sports. I just had to kind of bring it back down just a little.
Let's be clear. Like, the over-under for that team this season was 20 games. The fact that they're in the play-in, and the fact that if they weren't destroyed by injuries, they would probably be like a 6 seed right now, but they still have opportunity to make the playoffs if they win on Friday night at home. I know a lot of people are going to that game. My dad is going. One of my best friends is going with his boys. My cousin is going. Everybody's going to that game. So I expect them to win, not only win, but win big on Friday night to clinch the 8 seed to play the Heat.
I hear you. Well,
maybe I'll go to the game in Miami.
So.
Oh.
You forgot about that one.
Magic Johnson's not walking through that door.
No, he ain't.
Kobe Bryant's not walking through that door.
There's only one guy that's played on his team more than Michael Jordan. That's Magic Johnson. I'm just saying. Hey, congratulations on your mega quarterback deal today, by the way.
Hey, man.
Hey, you were talking about overpaying for a dude. Good
DC
for you guys.
going to
What
the
are you
bank.
talking about? What are you talking about? Overpaying? They're going to convert his money to a signing bonus. We just freed up $45 million in cap space come June 1st. What are you talking about?
Devontae Adams says thank you for that, by the way. So we'll see.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Devontae Adams already got his money. We're going to go get some more free agents. Watch.
You do that. You do that.
Later, guys.
Adios. 518-1410. That's the number that, you would call in if we had more time. Shaw and Ron and Eric and Tim, my bad dudes. We'll get back to you guys tomorrow. I promise. Shaw, usually I ignore you. I wasn't ignoring you today. I couldn't shut up. I was all angry about, Well, where
are you going to go?
Well, where are you going to go? Exactly. So we'll be back at it tomorrow. The Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash. MLB The Show 22. We have 20 copies of this video game we are giving away.
19 copies.
PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch. We have it all. We're giving these games away. Head to wingam.com right now to register to win a copy of this game. Again, when we contact the winner, you'll tell us which console you have, and we'll make sure we hook you up with the proper game, of course. We got Journey tickets to give away. We have Chris Rock tickets we're giving away. And what else we got?
We got it all.
We got a lot of stuff that we're giving away. I'm pretty jacked about that. Burt Crasher, my favorite comedian, coming to Dayton. He's going to be coming on the show here in the next week or two. We got tickets for him to give away. I'm jacked. It's a fun week it's a fun time heading into the summer, since we don't have baseball. Until tomorrow, it's been the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
WING 1410 Dayton.